How's it everyone, Grant here, welcome back to the channel, and in this video I'll be unboxing and reviewing the Sony SRS XB20 extra bass Bluetooth speaker. So this is currently on sale for about $70 at Amazon and Best Buy, and I believe it retails for normally about $100. So there are other speakers at about this size that are probably cheaper, but with Sony you usually have to pay a little bit more, so we'll see if it's worth that extra money. So really quickly, you can see the front of the box here, it lists some of the features here, but we'll turn it over and it lists them in a little more detail. So it is IPX5 water resistant, so because of that X, it's not dust resistant, just water resistant. You have wireless party chain, which means you can connect up to I think 10 of these together. You've also got speakerphone functionality with voice assist function, lighting for party, which basically means that there's a light ring around this speaker that lights up there. Speaker add function, so you can connect up to 2 of these for stereo sound. 12 hours of battery life and charges through USB. You can see here some of the audio features. LDAC, so that's just a higher resolution audio. You have Sony's Clear Audio Plus, and does a good job of sound enhancement on the phones, so we'll see how it does here on the speaker. You also have a digital amplifier. You have a digital sound enhancement engine as well. Sony includes that on their phones too. Of course, the extra bass, so it's got that extra bass feature where if you, at the press of a button, you get a little bit more kick in the bass. And it integrates with the SongPal app that you can download for both iOS and Android. This comes in 4 colors, black, blue, gray, and red. I've got the black version here, so we'll go ahead and quickly unbox it. So opening up top, you have the speaker front and center here. So we'll get to that in a second, see what else is in the box here. Looks like you've got a quick start guide here. This seems to be a lot of paperwork. I'm not going to go through all that. And lastly, you just have your micro USB charging cable. So that looks to be all you get in the box. And we'll unwrap the speaker here. And it just has a sticker with some of the features that we just went through, so we'll peel that off. And so here we have the speaker itself, and right off the bat, first impressions is that for such a small speaker, it feels really well built. It's got a good heft to it. And so you can really tell the construction here by Sony. You'd really expect good build quality from a Sony device, whether it be a phone, a speaker, or anything, and it really feels very solid here. On the front, you've got your dual speakers there. It doesn't really provide the wattage and power output of the speakers, but I do believe it has dual passive radiators. There's one here in the middle, and I believe that's the second one on the back. Up top, you can see all the features and functions. So first off, you have your extra bass button, so that should give you a little bit of a bass boost if you press that. You've got your button to answer and hang up on phone calls. You've got your play pause. Add button, I'm assuming to add multiple speakers for your left and right stereo sound. And you've got your volume up and down here, as well as your Bluetooth indicator and your power button. It's also got NFC built in. You see the NFC tag there, so if you have Android phones with NFC, you can pair it with NFC that way for quick pairing. On the back, you've got some of your ports, which is covered by that flap because it is water resistant. And so it should show your DC power in, reset button, as well as your auxiliary audio in cable. So if we open that up there, take off the flap, you'll see them. Micro USB for power, the reset button that you can press if you get a pin and press that in, and you have your auxiliary 3.5mm headphone jack to directly plug in the device if you don't want to pair it with Bluetooth. And if you're wondering just how big it is, we can do some size comparisons here. So we can bring in a dollar bill, and you can see you can almost cover it up with a dollar. It's just a little bit longer than that, so just something for some relative size there. I've also got a big 6-inch phone here, the HTC U Ultra, so you can kind of compare what it looks like next to a big 6-inch cell phone. Maybe you're more familiar with the size of the Galaxy S8 Plus here, 6.2-inch device. You can see how it compares to something like that. So we can quickly try to power this thing on. And it's got some power. You can see the Bluetooth indicator there blinking. So I'm gonna try pairing this with NFC with my Sony phone here. So I'm gonna place the NFC contact over there onto this contact and see. And as you can see, there's asking me if I want to pair with the speaker now. Hit yes. And we are all paired up there. So I just went ahead and downloaded the Sony SongPal app, and I fired it up, and it immediately found that I was connected to the Bluetooth speaker. I just tapped on that, and this is the screen I'm presenting with. So looks like you're limited in some of the options. It'll just have My Library, which will just take you to the songs on your device. You can choose the audio in if you want direct audio cable plugged in there. Music is going to take you to the music app on this phone, and these are all just links to the other apps. If I just tap it, it's going to open up those respective apps there. You can control settings on the speaker though. You can come in here and control the sound settings. So there's Clear Audio Plus that you can enable. You can go into Sound EQ and you can change it between flat and extra bass. I don't see a way to do custom EQ here. And power option, just auto standby or not. Illumination, this is where you can control the light. So there's different lighting modes there. Rave, chill, strobe, or you can just turn it off. If you don't want it, you saw it just turned off. I can put it onto chill, any other light modes there. And other settings here, Bluetooth codec, probably just leave that alone, auto. And that's pretty much all the other settings. You have things like terminate connection, power off, add other apps, music center settings. Doesn't seem to be really too much there, so not a lot you can do. Seems like you can do voice control, but I tried this out. It didn't really work very well. I'm not really sure what the voice commands are. So that's just a quick tour of the Sony SongPal app. Mainly I would suggest you install it just to control the settings of the speaker, and that's pretty much it. So one thing that's advertised here with this Bluetooth speaker is LDAC, and as you can see, it's just high-res audio, so it's a higher bit rate of audio being played back over Bluetooth. And so on your Sony phone, you'll actually be prompted for the LDAC playback quality, and this is the menu here. So by default, it's on best effort, and you can see here if it says sound quality preferred, it'll keep playing it at the highest possible bit rate. And so they just warn you that it could interfere with Wi-Fi. So if you're hitting skips, which I'll demonstrate here, that it's best to turn off Wi-Fi. So let's kind of test this out and see what kind of results we can get. So I've got a song here stored on my phone. It's not being streamed through Wi-Fi, and we'll see what it sounds like here. And I'll just start playing it with Wi-Fi on. And I'll go back into LDAC. and we'll hit sound quality preferred. And so already you can kind of hear the music skipping around. And so I'm going to turn off my Wi-Fi. We'll go back to best effort. So it sounds pretty stable here, no skipping. We'll go back to sound quality preferred. So as you could hear there, no matter if I kept it on best effort or sound quality preferred, I always got that stuttering and that skipping going on. And that wasn't even a high-res audio file. So of course I didn't notice much of a difference between these two because I was not playing back a high-res audio file. I just wanted to test it to see if it could keep streaming on this sound quality preferred setting, and it really couldn't. It could just be because of what I've got going on here in my home. So your mileage may vary on these settings. But of course, streaming a high-res audio file would probably be more demanding. And so this really seems pretty sensitive, but again, it really depends on how you have your home configured and what kind of wireless signals you have going on. But I just really wanted to quickly demonstrate that for you to see what kind of results at least I could get. Alright, so here's what I think about sound quality. So for me, it gets very loud, it doesn't distort at max volume. Indoor listening in a small to medium room, I can listen at 40 to 50% volume and it's going to be comfortable. 75% is pretty loud, and 100% for me is just going to be too loud, so it does get very loud. Outdoor listening, I was able to clearly hear the audio in the park as clearly as about 30 feet away. 60 feet away, the music started to get a little bit faint, but it didn't lose any signal. Heavy on the mid-range sound to me. It's common for speakers of this size. The extra bass really feels like it more cuts the mids to artificially boost the low end and high end. Overall quality is pretty good bass for the speakers of this size. I think if you want more bass, you're going to be limited by the speaker size itself, and again, if you want more bass, you're probably going to have to step up to just a bigger speaker. So let's wrap this up with some pros and cons. So as I said before, it's very solid and a very sturdy build. It's a nice heft to it without being too heavy, and you can easily move it around if you need to, being a portable speaker. It's got a nice soft touch matte finish on top. The buttons for play, pause, skip back. Not all speakers include those buttons, so it's nice to have that here. You've got NFC for easy pairing if you've got a phone that supports NFC. It does have a speakerphone in it, and I didn't show it here, but I did test the speakerphone and calls sound loud and clear. People on the other side didn't really complain about my sound quality and my voice, so speakerphone works pretty well here. You can pair it with multiple speakers, so if you want to buy multiple sets of these, which might be a cheaper option than stepping up to some of the bigger speakers, maybe just getting two of these and pairing them together could be a more inexpensive option to get louder sound as well as stereo sound. It is IPX5 water resistant, so it can withstand some basic sprays and splashes. There are lighting effects which can be turned off if you don't like them, but they are there if you do like that kind of a thing. It is priced competitively, so right now I think it's about $80 on Amazon. Other similar brands that are known to be more inexpensive, like Anker or Shark, their top-end speakers that are comparable to this one right here are about the same price, $80 to the $100 price range. So actually pretty competitively priced for a Sony speaker of this size here. So the cons that I have is that the extra bass is a bit disappointing. It, to me, cuts the mid-range more than actually boosting the low end. But I think you have to temper your expectations on that on a speaker this size. Like I said, if you want more bass, you're probably gonna have to step up to a bigger speaker. I also would like some more lighting color options. It's just that white color would be nice to have other color options here. And there is no water immersion. So like I said, it's just IPX5 certified, so you can only kind of spray it and splash it. You can't actually dunk this into some water. It would be nice to take this to a pool and not worry if it falls in by accident. And lastly, the LDAC doesn't really work, at least for me. It keeps skipping, so your mileage may vary on that one. It just probably depends on the wireless interference that you have going on wherever you're actually using the speaker. So that's going to do it for my review of the Sony SRS XB20. I think it is a very nice portable speaker. I think I've listed out some of the good things and bad things here, but ultimately it's going to be up to you if you want to go ahead and pick it up. Like I said, I leave the links in the description for the current pricing, and if you have any other questions or comments, let me know. And as always, thanks for watching.